heels. Nathan Cottrell back for the Yellowjackets, and we are underway this Saturday afternoon in Midtown Atlanta. Cottrell across the 15-yard line, and he won't get any further as Georgia Tech brings out Taquan Marshall, the junior quarterback's tendencies for the maximum hit that he can get out of it. As Marshall does unload to the sideline and incomplete for Brad Stewart, the junior.
Been their vocal leader, so he's really pressed Chaz Surratt to have to step up as that vocal leader for them this week.
He said, look, if you're on the sideline, you can lead, but it's not the same as this ball's tipped and incomplete down at the 44-yard line. So Georgia Tech's defense stonewalls Carolina.
But with Justin Thomas leaving, he's back at quarterback and doing a nice job.
He runs it this time, and Paul Johnson said, look, he didn't think necessarily it was going to be Marshall.
So it's 1, 2, 3, read, option, and then block for the pitch.
This pitch to Kervontae Benson.
Or do I pitch it to the A-back like he did right there?
Marshall to throw off play action. He is swarmed under. Aaron Crawford, the sophomore out of Ashburn, Virginia, with the sack for Carolina.
And negative plays in this triple option offense typically are drive killers.
Finished him off. Second down and 16. They run to the short side, and Searcy, who's got a gap down the sideline and took a lick past the 40-yard line. Miles Dorn was there.
I think Searcy stopped out of bounds, stepped out of bounds about 3 yards short, but the triple option, fullback inside, pull it.
That's Cottrell in motion. And Marshall to run. He just took on 3 Carolina defenders and got the first down. Phil found the seam. Play number 9 of the drive. Marshall wants to throw, and now he tried to stiff arm the defender Collins and couldn't do it. Cason Collins has had a very nice first quarter.
It's one of the linebackers that has to play well today with Andre Smith out, and typically North Carolina is going to be in their nickel.
Marshall on the run. Marshall keeps his feet. He's inside the 40-yard line in plus territory. A nifty run.
The double option, and Marshall makes a great decision once again and turns it up the field. He has the personal escorter, the offensive lineman.
Marshall runs it himself, and Marshall has the first down for Georgia Tech. It was Jeremiah Clark out of Northern Virginia with the tackle, but a yard too late. Georgia Tech driving. And a handoff to Jerry Howard, and the freshman is inside the 10-yard line. They don't get to touch the car, but they get to touch the ball of the North Carolina end zone. Cottrell in motion. Marshall stands tall. Marshall on the run. Touchdown! Some magic from Marshall for the score on the 18th play of the drive. Had him in the backfield, couldn't take him down.
Yeah, and some A-back came out of Marshall right there. Clark should have had him for a negative play.
Georgia Tech with a 90-yard drive for the touchdown as Carolina will get it back. And a good return gap for UNC. And Anthony Ratliff Williams not far from midfield. Very dynamic player, Anthony Ratliff Williams, and he had a big crease. Whatever it takes to get Trubisky into the lineup in Chicago. Surratt is blindsided and dropped. Antonio Simmons, the senior out of Jacksonville, with his 3rd sack, and a flag has come in on some post-play stuff.
Left defensive end is going to get around Charlie Heck. So right now they're just having a hard time up front in a lot of ways also.
Well, one of the guys they lost is William Sweet, the right tackle. He's one of the players out for the year. A nice coverage for Carolina. Stewart tackled at the 32-yard line by Trey Shaw.
Or possessions, and so you have to make good with what you get.
Marshall wanted to throw. He is nailed. Taquan Marshall is sacked for a loss of 7.
Carolina needs offensively is they need their defense to do this. Create some negative plays, get the ball back.
Depending on how this game goes, this is 3rd down and 1 for North Carolina, and it's not going to get the job done.
The others, and the defense outside of that one drive is looking like they're figuring it out a bit.
Marshall breaks away from 2, loads of time. Marshall keeps his feet and zigzagging through the Tar Heel blue car wash.
Situated, and I think he will go on to be a very nice player at North Carolina.
Brown out of the backfield, and he races upfield for a first down and then some. Carolina into Georgia Tech territory as we check in with Chris Connor.
They need to do more of what we just saw.
Surratt over the middle has a completion inside the 25-yard line to Devin Perry, who had the penalty on special teams. He gets 16 yards here. Third down and long for the redshirt freshman Surratt. Looking for Perry down the sideline.
That's what North Carolina needs offensively right now.
Freeman Jones, who's long this year, is 39, testing it from 40 on a line drive that's no good.
Chris loves his protein. He's not eating that plankton. He's going for the steak with me, I guarantee that.
He brings the blender into the studio with him on Saturdays. Cottrell on the toss. And he has himself a Georgia Tech first down. Holcomb brought him down. Tech trying to put itself in good position in the coastal. Marshall is hit, and he's going to be about a yard short. Carney with the stop, and the question is, do you go for it here? It's 4th and 1. Benson in the backfield, 4th down and 1. Kervonte Benson is going to get there. There's certain guys that he absolutely trusts and others that he kind of trusts. Ricky June, a sliding grab at the sideline control for the senior June and a first down.
Yeah, we're going to see the end of it with June.
Georgia Tech 3rd down and 1 for Marshall in the offense. Benson is slugged down at the 34.5-yard line. Carney got him. Under 3 to go, first half. Marshall with the pitch to the outside. Clinton Lynch sees daylight. Lynch down the sideline. Got a nice block out front from June. And it's first down, Georgia Tech.
Quan Marshall was unbelievable. Look how quickly you have to do this. No fullback. Get it outside. You get a guy in your face. You have to pitch it. All in a matter of about a second and a half.
3rd down and goal for Georgia Tech. Marshall to throw to the end zone and incomplete for Ricky June. And wrapped up as Sean Davis kicks from 21. He's just 1 for 3 this year. It is good, and Georgia Tech has a 2-score lead. They've only had 17 plays to work with at all for the game. As this goes to Brown out of the backfield, Jordan Brown juking outside and out of bounds at the 38-yard line with 53 seconds to go.
Exactly what Larry Fedora is trying to arrive at.
They go 4 wide on 3rd down and short. That one came out wobbly, but got the job done to Brandon Fritz, the tight end, on a gain of 6. So first down, Surratt, one of the last guys at that position for Carolina, ravaged with injuries. Surratt didn't see the pressure coming from Step Durham, and he blew him up behind the 40.
And another example, the pressure is coming from the bottom of the screen in Step Durham, and the young quarterback doesn't see it.
For Carolina. Harris remains on the sideline. Surratt to throw. It was a short set, and it's into traffic, and it's caught. Freeman Jones from 52 yards away. Jones is no good. That's as good as she's going to get from Larry Fedora. He's playing it close to the vest. Surratt on 3rd down and 4 goes over the middle, and that one's incomplete. Along with those long drives, and this may be one of them. Let's see. Taquan Marshall, first-year starting quarterback, tucks it and runs. Marshall veers across the 20, and a dandy of a run for the junior out of small Hamilton, Georgia.
And 8, Georgia Tech is not a team that runs complicated concepts in the pass game and has multiple receivers. There were 3 receivers out here.
Confident that they can get 2 yards, 3 yards on the ground like here on 3rd and 2. Marshall got caught in between, but still picked up the first down. In for Justin Thomas, who has since departed. And Marshall lost the ball. It's on the deck. Carolina has it. Cole Holcomb plucked it from the ground, and there's the turnover the Tar Heels needed.
In 4th down, and this is a takeaway. You just have to get a hat on the quarterback, and that's what happens. Actually, it was the left hand of a defender up inside.
Out to run the offense with Carter, the tailback. Surratt, the lefty, ready to wing it down the middle. It is intercepted. A.J. Gray blazing in front of the pass to rip it off.
Surratt is sometimes the decision is just simply made too late, and this is one of those times. You don't have that ability.
The last two have been turnovers. Kervontae Benson finds some space. To the sideline he goes. Georgia Tech breaks it wide open. Benson, touchdown. 63 yards. It to the house for Georgia Tech. And the Yellowjackets have ripped it wide open in the second half.
Defense corresponding for North Carolina just isn't making a lot happen.
Carter was slowed up.
A perimeter out of that receiving core currently.
Surratt with the blitz coming from Austin. He hits Ratliff Williams, and he's very close to the first down. Chris is a great member of our crew. You know what? We need more reports about your age from Chris. Marshall down the sideline. Look out. Another big hit for Georgia Tech. Marshall into open space. Marshall inside the 15-yard line. He almost got there. M.J. Stewart tore him down. A touchdown gets another big gash play inside the 15.
So many times the triple option pays heavy dividends for Georgia Tech in the second half, and we've already seen it with Benson on the long touchdown run, and now it's quarterback.
Carolina shifts on the line. Marshall to throw on third down, end zone. Touchdown, Ricky June brought it in. Thank you, Brandon Harris, the new quarterback for Carolina, and his first throw is intercepted. A.J. Gray steps in front one more time for Georgia Tech. For Georgia Tech, his second pick.
And I think it's a matter of the quarterback just simply not seeing A.J. Gray, and sometimes that happens. The tight end was coming in.
With that big upset over Connecticut this past year. Marshall going for the jugular to the sideline. He has Brad Stewart, who sheds a tackle on a first and goal for Georgia Tech. Gain of 16 and Holcomb the tackle. The last pick led to a touchdown from the Georgia Tech defense. This is Kervontae Benson seeking the goal line. He leans. Did he lose the ball before he got in? The answer, it looks like, is yes, and a touchback. Did Benson get in is the question before the fumble.
That's going to be the question. Is the ball just has to be in possession and penetrate the front of that line, and that ball was clearly out.
We're certainly hearing from the Georgia Tech crowd. Pressure comes. Surratt dances outside. He's hit as he throws, and it's incomplete to the sideline. Jerry Howard, the freshman, had a nice run early in the game. First down here as we check in with Chris Connor.
Comes out.
Marshall with the pitch to the outside. Clinton Lynch, and another good decision by Marshall for a first down, Georgia Tech.
Core of the program is in place, and so they're going to be a tough out the rest of this season if people stay healthy.
Marshall had it batted by Cater.
None of those people on that list like their matchup against Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech is at Miami in a couple of weeks as Marshall had his shirt dragged, but he was not down. Marshall on first down with a pitch, and that was nicely played by the Carolina defense and Cole Holcomb, who was step for step with Lynch. The third string quarterback who won the job this year. Marshall launches to the end zone in June, and a flag comes in. KJ Sales
response.
Marshall wants to run and does, and he's dropped. It's a loss on the play. It is good. After one play from Brandon Harris in the third quarter. Surratt to the outside, nowhere to go for Brown. Chris Connor. And a defense that needed to bounce back from a tough one in the opener against Tennessee as the tight end Fritz makes the catch. and gave away some yardage. Now we'll see where they spot him. Since he doubled back, he loses the yardage that he gained from forward progress. Sutton, the tailback, rams forward and creates contact for a first down into plus territory.
That was good line movement, but
year due to injury. Mitch Trubisky to the NFL with the Bears. Surratt down the sideline, wide open. Jordan Cunningham, he had to come back for it, so it wasn't.
You got to hold the guy up at the line of scrimmage a bit.
This is Brown on the run, and Brown spills into the end zone. Touchdown.
For a long touchdown, and then Marshall for a long run, and that's the dividends that pay off, particularly in the second half for this style of play.
Jordan on the run.
You know, the quarterback that doesn't want to be a defensive back at Alabama, he comes and runs the option here.
Like Matthew Jordan. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Nobody panic. Georgia Tech is up big. Yes, the extra point was no good. From Denver, North Carolina, outside of Charlotte. Sutton on the carry for Carolina. Kelly, what's the ceiling in a season?
It's those type of things that you get out of a youngster, and trust me, he doesn't have a lot of really good productive moving parts around him currently offensively either, and that he's not being kind of overcome with the enormity of the time. You know, you want to see him continue to improve and make plays just like this in the designed quarterback run game.